Bandidos, Season 8 is live and Tux has your back. I'm covering Season 8 daily to help you milk every bit out of what this game has to offer. And today, I'm giving you a build so amazing it actually makes the Hollywood event fun. That's right, let's go.
Accept it, Division. This is a war you can't win.
Sweet dreams are made of this.
Division 2 and you're live with Tux. What's up, my banditos? Hey, I usually skip the Hollywood event. And because basically what it does is it takes super strong NPCs and makes them even harder to kill. And that's not fun, right? But I got the cure. Today I got the cure for you guys. I have the cure for the Hollywood event with a build that delivers basically everything you need to take down the event challenges, as well as farm those red stars and get some really good gear while you're at it. So, really fun build. I'm excited to share with you guys, but first let's do that little bit of housekeeping that we do at the beginning of every stream. So if I can just get some hashtag Tux Lives just to make sure that my microphone is coming in loud and clear, I would really appreciate that. And while you guys are doing that, if you don't mind, if you want to support me and the Division 2 community and the cause, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet. Also, I just released the build I used to beat the Federal Emergency Bunker in about 9 minutes and 30 seconds, which is actually pretty good solo. And so link for that build is in the description area below. Also, members of Texas Players Club, I recently dropped a new classified build that's basically like having the Unbreakable talent on unlimited with no cooldowns without actually using the Unbreakable talent. So it's actually a pretty good build, lots of fun. Hardcore members, don't forget your digital download and gamer music playlist awaits. Take advantage of that because I have a new one coming your way. So listen up, hardcore members, I have a new gamer playlist download coming your way. So look forward to that. Also, if you want to support me in the cause, you can buy me a cup of coffee. That's a little thing to do. You'll see links for that along the way in the chat. Anyways, let's see who's in the house. Who's in the house today? So it's Sick Jim's first again. Damn, Sick Jim, you're on a roll. You guys got to get ahead of Sick Jim, man. That guy's on his A game. For sure. What's going on, Xander? We're going to make things go boom for sure. What up, Doc? Mr. Rook? Appreciate you guys' help the other day, by the way. Massive Machine, what's going on, bro? Thanks for that. Hashtag Tux Live. Appreciate the sound check. Randy Dukes, welcome to the stream. Boom. Hey, Tucker, what's up? Lots of sound effects going on in the chat today. That's right. I think you guys are in the spirit. Okay, so let's get into it. Randy Savage, what's up? Sydney Williams Jr. The announcement was confusing. Sorry. It just maybe it didn't translate when it hit Discord. But thanks, Anthony Chase. Appreciate you, man. I'm glad you made this as well. Okay, so I want to show you what we're talking about. So let's look at the event first, okay? So just real quick so we're all on the same page. Okay, so we got the Termite League. So this is the second week of the Termite League, right? And so we're working on this stuff too. All right, so I got some stuff for you coming as well on that. And of course, there's already videos on that. But we're also now have the Hollywood event going, right? So we got two things. Now you got two reward tracks. So you got, again, this rewards track here, right? All of this stuff, you probably already got this by now or really close to finishing it. And then now you got the Hollywood reward track as well. Okay, so now the difference is you got to activate this event. So if you're new to this game and this is your first season, you need to activate the event by, and you can see down below where it says X to activate. So anyways, with the event activated, you start earning these dealios by either leveling up. So every time you level up your shade level, then you're going to get a red star. Also, those red stars are currency. But you automatically accumulate those red stars to earn this rewards track, and then I'll show you what else you can do with them. And then we have all these challenges. So your build needs to, ideally, your build can accomplish these challenges passively without you really having to try. So look, I just created this build and maybe ran it for about an hour, hour and a half, and I already cleared all of this off without even trying, just because the build just does this. And so the build I'm giving you can do everything in this list. Okay, it's a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun, seriously. So anyway, so every day you're gonna have different challenges, and this is gonna run for another 6 days. So this event ends on Monday night of next week. Okay, so the reason why we want these events, to play these events, you know, like I said at the beginning, like I've always skipped the Hollywood event. This is the first time I'm playing the Hollywood event, because for like many seasons, because this one just sort of sucks. I've just never really had fun with it. And so I decided to spend some time and put together a really good build for it to actually make this fun. So that's the real purpose of this build. But what ended up happening is the build is so much fun. This might be in your category of everyday awesomeness hybrid skill builds, okay? And you'll see why in a minute, and I'll tell you exactly why in a moment. But let's just get this stuff out of the way. So anyways, so you want these rewards tracks. Now also you want to play you want to take advantage of every event, because of every event, global event that's possible, because this season vendor opens for these events. And so you earn these red stars by completing those challenges, and you also earn them by leveling up, like I said earlier, and then you can use them to buy whatever you see here, these caches. So don't spend them on exotic caches, that's a waste. Legacy season caches are worth it, and same with named item caches, which are my favorite. Okay, so I use them to farm named item caches. The only reason why I would farm a legacy season cache is if I was looking for system corruption. What up, Tux? What up? Says Hungry 40s. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. As usual, glad you made this one, my bro. Thanks for using that super chat too. Appreciate that. So each one of these, you haven't, you know, you can buy, but just for my advice, don't spend your red stars on exotic caches. But legacy season caches and named item caches are worth it. Now, some people do use optimization caches, but I don't think it's worth it for what you get inside of it. But you know, that's up to you. You look at each one of these. So it says 8 stars for named item caches. So named item caches are valuable because they basically give you the best gear in the game. And so named items in the open world as well as the dark zone. So these include all named items and some of the best gears in the dark zone. And so if you're not a PvP player, if you don't go in there, then you're never going to get that stuff unless you either go into the dark zone or you farm these caches. So, but even if you go into the dark zone, you get really good quality out of these named item caches. So, have you ever used Hungry 40s asks if we've ever used the foam chem launcher on an Eclipse build. It's hilarious to see everyone get foamed for one shot. For sure. Actually, super efficient. I was using it today, as a matter of fact. So actually, I was hanging with a homie today to do, we were speed running the Memorial, Lincoln Memorial. We were speed running that, and I was trying to get the fastest time possible speed running, not like world record time, but just, you know, like really good, high quality speed running time. So, and so he was running the Eclipse Protocol build, and I was running a Regulus build, and we got down to, you know, about a little over 7 minutes between the two of us as a duo. So that, which is pretty good, but you know, I think we could shave probably realistically another minute and a half or so, you know, once we get the whole thing down. But yeah, he was using the Eclipse riot foam build. And so he would riot foam them, and then I'd get that one shot headshot kill with the Regulus, and then everybody would just be riot foamed, and we'd continue that. Tons of fun. I call it the bubble wrap build. Wrap everybody in bubbles. So anyway, so you want to farm these. Thanks for the super chat too, Hungry 40s. Appreciate that, man. So you want to farm these events basically because you're going to get really good gear out of it. So when you have to skip events, it sucks. And so in the past, I've skipped these events, and it really sucks to skip them because, you know, you're missing out on some good gear, and then you have to wait. There's usually 2 weeks between global events, right? Okay, so so you can see this one is 6 days left, and then we're gonna have this Target Luna, and then Luna League, and then Polarity Switch. And so Polarity Switch is kind of the same thing, but okay. So let's look at this event details real quick. And so basically, it's not a great explanation here, but what it says here in summary is that they're gonna get a shield that makes them invulnerable. The only way you can get through that shield, not the only way, but basically the only way you can get through that shield is through explosives, EMPs, or using your specialization weapon. So if you, of course, you can use you might think of like tip of spear. That's a possibility. You know, not the most fun gear set in the game, but you can go that route, right? Also, another friend of mine was using the oxidizer cam that goes through the shields. And also tested the pestilence, and that goes through the shields. So you can actually, the ticks, the plague of the outcast actually bypasses the shields. So there's ways you can bypass the shields, but you got to remember, you're not just trying to bypass the shields. You're not just trying to get kills. You have to accomplish things like explosive skills. Using explosive skills, you got melees, you got EMPs. So you want to build, ideally, you want to build that's not just fun, that not just allows you to farm the event, but also tackles these challenges at the same time. And so that's what I'm delivering you today. Okay? So we got to break the shields, and the way we're going to do it is through explosives. Okay, so here's a high level of the build. Okay, so one thing I want you to realize what this build is. If you know my channel really well and you've been following my builds for a while, so this is basically a mashup build of a few of my favorite builds. Okay, so do you remember? I'll give you the names of the 3 builds, and then that'll give you an idea of how this runs. So this is a fast-paced, out of cover, run and gun explosive skill build. So out of cover, fast-paced, run and gun explosive skill build. Okay. So if you ever remember my Rocket Man build, also called Holy Hand Grenades. So it was there was 2 versions of it. So it was a Rocket Man build, and then there was another build called Max Blind. If you're familiar with Max Blind, okay, where you got unlimited, you got skills with no cooldowns, unlimited skills basically. So it's skills with no cooldowns. Okay, so it's like that. And then Slaughter. You guys all know Slaughter. Slaughter is my out of cover solo legendary build. That's amazing, right? And so it's a mashup of those 3 builds, okay? And so it's got 20% armor on kill, and we got 6 skill tiers, okay? And then we got the 4% armor regen on top of that. And we got the grenade launcher, which is helping us tackle the tasks and challenges, of course, the grenades. And then we got a sticky that before all of its buffs, it's hitting at 4.6, but what's going to be way higher when we use when we get all of our memento stacks. And then we also using this seeker at which is at 3.5. And so the cooldowns go way down on these because we're gonna have all that skill efficiency, but we're also on our chest piece, we're using tag team. So really amazing. So basically, I got a wyvern with skill haste, skill damage, more skill haste, and then tag team, which basically shaves 6 seconds off of the skill's cooldown, and you constantly using this, okay? Constantly. So it's always active for you, basically. And you'll see that in the gameplay. And then also, I'm using the test subject, which is also giving us another 40% skill damage on top of all of that. Okay, so tons of fun. And then these skills are basically always ready for you. So the skill, like the cooldowns are just right. Okay, so we didn't go overboard on the skill haste. We didn't go overboard on the no cooldown thing. It's just right. Like by the time you can realistically use your skill, the cooldown is up. And so that's thanks to tag team. And again, the backpack. So we're utilizing long-term and short-term buffs off of the backpack. So when we got full stacks of trophies, which is 30, then we're gonna have 30% skill efficiency. And so that skill efficiency includes skill damage as well as skill haste, duration, status effects, and everything else I probably didn't mention. And then we got, we're getting bonus armor. We're getting 10% bonus armor. You can add more armor on this if you want, but 10% bonus armor is perfect. And a little bit of weapon damage as well. And then we're going to get 30% weapon damage on the long side. And this is giving us 3% armor regen. Okay, and then I have a skill haste mod. Notice that. So the gloves are my death grips. Now, these are Dark Zone exclusive gloves. You can get these by farming this event and by using the red stars to purchase named item caches. So this is a good reason why you want to farm this event. Now, you don't have to. You'll be fine with 10% armor on kill, but I like this. So this works out really well. So I got the skill tier for more damage and duration and skill haste for my skills. And then I got skill damage and 10% armor on kill. And then my knee pads are my first piece of Bellstone, which is giving me another 1% armor regen, raising this to 4% armor regen. And then I got skill haste, skill damage, and I rolled a skill tier. Now, the good news is for you guys, if you want to make this build, guess what's on the board? This is the E small is all Bellstone. One of my favorite places to farm in the game. So, yeah, take advantage of that. Take advantage of that for sure. So also, let's go back to the build. And then the holster is my second piece of Bellstone. I got armor regen, skill damage, another skill tier. This is giving us 10% armor on kill for a total now of 20% armor on kill. You heard me, 20% armor on kill, 4% armor regen, all right? And our armor's at 900,000. So I elected to stay there. It works great both in group and solo play. You're gonna see both today. Full group on invaded missions, and we're playing out of cover, and this thing is amazing. So I would rather have skill haste probably than armor regen, but that doesn't hurt to have armor regen because we got a bunch of the build anyway, so that's helping. And then again, here's the chest piece, which you already saw with tag team, and then the mask is China Light, which is just giving us 15% more explosive damage. We got skill haste, skill damage, more skill haste there. And last but not least, there's the demolitionist, and so we're actually using that a lot, the grenade launcher, but it's also giving us more explosive damage. Okay, so anyways, lots of fun, lots of power in this build, as you'll see in the gameplay. Let me show you the stats. There's not much to look at here, you know, because it's not really a DPS build. We're really relying on in sync for the weapon damage there, and then we do get 30% off of the backpack. So there's our armor. There's our 20% armor on kill right there. And then we have a little bit of armor regeneration on the board, but remember we can get another 3% off of the backpack when that's fully buffed. So yeah, so should we check out some gameplay? One second, hit the wrong button. Where's that going? This one. Okay. So here we are. I'm with the group, and we are doing. Oh, let me turn it down a little bit.
I was all the way up there on the left.
So we're going to do some invaded missions, which are usually are turned a little bit up, if you know what I mean, when it comes to difficulty. But so yeah, you can see what this build does. Tons of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And so, you know, it's one of these moves. So basically, I like to get up close and personal with the enemies using this build. So you'll see that I kind of try to run into the heat. But in order to do that, you know, again, it still requires situational awareness. And then you got to have some dance moves too, because you don't want to blow yourself up. So that, you know, I did that once or twice. And you'll probably see that in the gameplay that you can get too close to your explosives, or if an enemy gets up in your face and then you shoot down at your feet with your sticky bomb. And so I chose this seeker mine, the explosive seeker mine, because you can throw it like a grenade. And so, and then it's also got a really nice cooldown on it, which is also why I chose it. See, so if you throw it kind of in the enemy's vicinity, then they're less likely to dive out of the way. But as you see, the explosives take off their shield. So if you're wondering what that yellow outline is on their body, that means they're shielded, and you can't really put any damage on them until you break that shield. And so the explosives both break that shield and damage them. And so what I'm doing is using the explosives to kill them. So it's usually a 1-2 punch, and then I go and pick up my trophy along the way. But and then your skills are usually ready for you by the time you grab that trophy, or that one of the skills is usually always available, basically. I guess it's the best way to put it. So, tons of fun. Mickey Bricks, what's good, brother? What True Patriot build do you think is the best? I like, Dr. Hannes asks, I like, for True Patriot, I like, I actually like the Contender. It's my most fun build. The Contender is pretty fun, which is so that's where I took the 4 pieces of True Patriot and I hacked it into a skill damage build. So I think that's a lot of fun to use. Sean, what's going on, man? I'm glad you caught us live. Good to see you. But I'm not a, like, believe it or not, I'm not a huge fan of True Patriot. Like, True Patriot came out with Negotiator's Dilemma at the same time, and I chose the Negotiator's Dilemma path, as far as like exploring it and falling in love with it. And so I didn't use True Patriot for years later, really. And so, and then when I did go to it, I think the first build I ended up creating with it, and I did try it before, and I was just like, oh, I don't like it. It's, kind of tanky, right? And so the build that I ended up going for first was that hybrid build, and then I realized, wow, this is really cool because you can get those buffs, whether you're DPS or a tank or a hybrid, and your skills get the benefit of all those buffs too. So that's why I really like it. It's a real creative way to take advantage of those buffs in multiple avenues, which is why I use it. And then I do like it for a support build too, so like the perfect wingman build, that's the other way. And so, have any of you guys used the Hunted Fury as an all red build? Because you can do that. That's kind of fun too. So yeah, remember to pop out your grenade launcher. It's deadly. You got a lot of explosive damage. And so remember, skill damage doesn't work for your special weapon because it's not a skill, but the explosive damage does. So keep that in mind. So you can have more explosive damage by running 2 pieces of Grupo, but that would pull from our the survivability we have on this build, which is a ton. But notice the cooldowns on the build, guys. So you see that little skull, that little red skull that pops up? That's tag team. And so you got to use your gun to refresh your skills, basically. So you damage the enemy with your skills, and then tag team lets you refresh your skill by hitting it. It doesn't refresh, it takes 6 seconds off, which is basically like refreshing it. But watch the damage we're doing. Now, what I'm going to show, what the really cool thing I think that you guys will all appreciate is that you'll see that in all these invaded missions that we're playing, that I take the lead kills. And it's not an ego thing, but the point is that this thing does some serious damage. It does so much damage that in a team of 4, I have no DPS really, but we're still getting the most kills, like twice as much as anybody else. And that's and a lot of that's basically, of course, it's because of the damage output, but we just have amazing cooldown. So the skills are constantly going out. And then if for any reason in between there, you don't have a skill for some reason, then we're using the grenade launcher on top of that. Ammo is not a problem. You do not need tip of spear. We have plenty of grenades. So look at the grenade launcher as a skill. Now, it doesn't take skill damage, so I don't mean literally, but like it needs to be in part of your cycle, including your regular grenades, because you got explosive damage, okay? So you want to huck out your regular grenades. You want to use all of your explosives in this build. Plus, that's going to help you get more red stars by taking down the challenges, so. Wyatt, Maniscolco. I'll show you the build details again after we get through this mission here in just a minute. It's gonna go pretty quick. This is DCD headquarters on Abated, and it's actually it's a pretty fast mission. So, but notice I'm moving a lot, so you'll see. So you don't have to play like I do, you know what I mean? But like I use this as a fast-paced run and gun. I use this like I'm playing with a shotgun, you know what I mean? Or like an SMG. So I use it like I'm running and gunning with a no shield, like Hunter's Fury build. That's kind of like how I play with this build. And so I've had builds like this before, and so I know that they work really well in this style of gameplay. But yeah, so but the explosive damage is amazing. And but I think what's really important, I think the message that I want to deliver today is that I know many of you don't like Hollywood, and I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone there, and I've heard people express that before. And this is going to make Hollywood event fun. You're going to run this build all week. If you like Slaughter or Game Over, if you like those builds that are powerful and help you get out of cover, then you're going to like this one, because those explosives get so many kills for you. And they put out so much damage that you're going to be getting that 20% armor on kill all the time. And if not, you got 4% armor regen in between your armor on kill. So you got tons of survivability. And so I think you just have to remember to use your grenade launcher, use all of your explosives as part of your arsenal. So yeah, just remember that. Just remember that. What's up, Memphis? Yeah, the best are at the end. So Memphis says we get the worst global events in the beginning, the best are in the end. Yeah, because the next one is polarity switch, which is kind of the same thing, right? Like, it's weird. I don't really get the point of polarity switch, but it's there. And so I want you to know that I didn't mention this, but I'm also running the Sweet Dreams. Okay, so there is a melee challenge in this event, so you do want to melee enemies, and so I don't use it so much in the group play, but in the solo gameplay, I do use the melee more, just because it's fun and because it's a challenge. So it's a good excuse to whip out. So watch this gameplay right here. Watch this. This is what I'm talking about. So we're in the heat. So I just exploded that guy, right? Just like it was like a face shot. But look, I'm surrounded. Boom. And then you got good survivability. And so look at our armor, right? It's looking good. It's still growing too. Got all the way back, basically. And then that was the explosive grenade launcher.
Hey, I'm a reboot 3.
Professor Beam, what's good? Yeah, you probably got your question answered, Professor. But yeah, named item caches. Basically, play these events. If you guys want Dark Zone gear, you got to play these events. What up, Luis Vasquez?
Good make pestilence build work.
Yeah, so if anything like that. Axion asks, does the Ravenous explosive charge count towards explosive skills? Actually, I suppose so. I was actually gonna run that build, but it sounded dreadful to run the Ravenous too. So, you know. But I think you want to go the skill build route for this. So you can go DPS. You can do the Ravenous. You could also do like the Merciless. Both of those would count towards the explosive sides. And so if you don't want in sync, then do that. Chad, press Twitch.
You can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
Thank you, Chad. Appreciate you supporting, man. Welcome to the club.
Oh, really?
Right on, right on. Welcome to Players Club, man. Thank you for supporting me and the cause, the Division 2 cause, and the channel. Appreciate you, man. Welcome, welcome. Also, guys, for you that are in the Players Club, if you didn't know, you can access that members-only content just by going to my YouTube homepage. Right there at the top of my YouTube homepage is a members-only playlist. And then if you are a member, you should join us on Discord. If you haven't done that, I do have a members-only channel as well. So if you'd like to talk shop, or if you want to discuss pimping your build, we can do that there.
Got you. Oh, you go.
Yeah, so White Man Escalco. So I use so there's two reasons why I use the explosive. One is because you can toss it right at the enemy, and if you can toss it right at the enemy, then it's there's less chance of them kicking it away or dodging it. So it's got a really good hit rate, but also it's got a way better cooldown than the the clusters. So the clusters, I have about an 8-second larger cooldown. So with this build, part of why it's so successful is that it's constantly, your skills are constantly available, right? Really short cooldowns. And so, you know, in order to move as fast as I'm moving or to play as fast as I'm playing with this build, you want to have your skills always available. And tag team helps with that a lot too. Shaving 6 seconds every 4 seconds. It shaves 6 seconds. A Wild Wolf Eye. Thanks, man. Appreciate the thumbs. Mr. Wolf Eye's giving us thumbs. Six Atomic, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Hey, Six Atomic, are you the same as Atomic on the Xbox? Jimmy DCZ, what's up, bro? Smith CFC, what's good? What's good? Memphis, I like your style, man. I like how you're rolling. I caught that. I was thinking about that too. So yeah, check out what Memphis is saying. He ran a Mad Bomber build. I thought about that way too. This build just ended up coming together real nicely, so I stuck with it. But Mad Bomber is a great way to go. You want to go explosive side of things. What's going on, Lorenzo Hernandez? Mr. Serbia? Digital Dogs, good to see you, man. It's been a little bit. Are we in that UK time zone? Are we in that UK ideal time zone? Wyatt, yeah, really good assumption, Wyatt. That's actually right. I'm, you know, I'll be honest. Like, I'm not a big fan of the artillery turret. No, I had my moment with it, but look at all the ammo, guys. So these guys drop explosive ammo when you kill them. Okay, so that's why there's so much ammo. I mean, special ammo, special ordnance is what they call it, right? So, and that's why you don't need to run Tip of Spear. Okay, so I think Tip of Spear is kind of a mistake. I mean, not a mistake, but I think you wouldn't be using you're not getting the most out of Tip of Spear, right? Because the biggest part about, in my opinion, for Tip of Spear, I think the biggest win for Tip of Spear is that it regenerates ammo for you automatically, right? But so does this event. This event is regenerating special ammo for you because you can break their shields just by using your special weapon, whatever it is. Okay, whatever special weapon, sniper, whatever. So, of course, Tip of Spear makes your special weapon stronger. So I get that. But I think that if you try to rely on your special weapon too much, I don't know. You'd run out of ammo anyways. You know, so I don't know. I'm just not a big fan. I'm just not a big fan of Tip of Spear. I know some people like it, but not a big fan of it. But anyways, I guess my point is that you're not going to have special ammo issues. I never ran out of special ammo. I never ran out. Never. In all of these missions. And I'm using the grenade launcher a lot. And you'll see that like when we get to Federal Bunker, because we're doing all the invadeds right here. So we get to Federal Bunker and I'm just launching grenades at Chungas and, you know, all sorts of things. It's fun. A lot of fun. Randy Duke says survivalist with Mad Bomber and a Costa. Burn everything. Yeah. That's a pretty classic setup. I like that setup. But I mean, you could do Mad Bomber with this build, guys. I mean, not Mad Bomber, but I mean, you could do Mad Bomber with this build technically. You know, so I'll show the build in a minute as soon as we get done. We're almost done with this, and then I'll go back to the build. So, but yeah, you can do Mad Bomber with this build, and it would just work a little bit differently. You're just integrating your grenade more, you know. But you get the overcharge with that too, so that would be cool. You'll get an overcharge, what, every 60 seconds? So, nobody's gonna complain about that. But I don't know if you guys also knew the sticky bomb has got a quick deploy feature if you double tap your bumper. So if you haven't caught on to me doing that, it's really important because it helps you actually hit your target more when you use your quick deploy because there's less aiming and it's more precise, I guess. But also you can basically snipe with it. And you'll see that happen here in a second. I'll basically snipe these guys from a distance. So watch the sniper right there. Boom! You see that? So I stickied him and I landed him. Look how far that is. What is that, 50 meters? Easy, right? Easily 50 meters. So, anyway, so that's the double tap feature on the sticky bomb. And it might work different on PC, but so on the Xbox, you double tap your bumper. So, but yeah, great survivability. Great survivability on this build. You're gonna have a lot of fun with it. I hope you use it. Muhammad Ali, what's up? Armand, good to see you back, man. Oh, I was gonna say about the artillery turret. Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted by it. But yeah, on the artillery turret, like, I've just never been a big fan. Like, I had my moment, but it's kind of slow. It's really powerful. There's no doubt. You know what I mean? But in open combat, like in inside, like when you're in rooms and hallways, it's like, it's really nice because, you know, they're like fish in a barrel, basically, right? But in open areas, you end up, you know, they can roll out of your explosives a lot, and you end up using like all of your artillery turret ammo on a single target, which is kind of annoying, right? And I don't know. And it's just like, it's for me, I have a hard time like shooting, so it's hard to like use your gun and you know, and like coordinate everything because it takes so much of your energy just to target. Use the targeting system, you know, it's just kind of a complicated targeting system. But there's no doubt that artillery turrets are really powerful. They work well in legendary. You know, you just basically hide and cover and use your turret. You know, which is also another reason why I don't use it. Because it's kind of the only active part of it is basically aiming, right? And so it's hard to use your weapon, you know, and your other skills, or you know, whatever. But just so much aiming, but it's powerful, so it makes up for it. Okay, so let's take a look at the build again for those of you that jumped in late. So again, here's a high level of the build. I wanted to mention, because I didn't say so earlier, but I do have the Sweet Dreams as my secondary weapon. And that's worth it. That's definitely worth it. Hold on a second. Let me turn down the volume on this. All right. So yeah, I definitely recommend running the Sweet Dreams. So and that's one of the challenges for the event too, is to melee attack enemies. All right. So definitely take a look at using that if you have it. You probably should, or you need it if you don't. Great for raids, of course. And then I'm using the test subject as my primary for 40% skill damage. So yeah, you're going to be using your gun. You need to use your gun to tag enemies, but also because we're using tag team, so that requires a weapon. So the last enemy you have damage with the skill is marked. Dealing weapon damage to that enemy consumes the mark to reduce active cooldowns by 6 seconds. So that's why you need to use your weapon for in-sync and for tag team, okay? And so we're using the China Light Mask for more explosive damage. You need one piece at least to get the most out of this build. Skill haste, skill damage, skill haste. And then we're running 2 pieces of Bellstone Armory. You can farm this today in the East Mall, so it's a great day to create this build. These pieces aren't as rare as you think they are. So you just need skill damage and then whatever. You can have skill haste there. You can even go with status effects because we're running explosives. So they give status effects if you wanted to. But you can go with status effects, skill haste, armor regen, all of that would work there. Anyways, and then I put on the skill tier. So that's giving us 1% armor regen. Our second piece is giving us 10% armor on kill. I got skill haste, skill damage, another skill tier. So I got lots of these pieces. I also have them on my gloves. And then this is the Death Grips, which is giving us another 10% armor on kill, which is why I'm running it. I got more skill damage in the skill tier. If you don't have this, don't sweat it. Don't run it. Instead, you can run a Hannah U here, or a second China Light, or you can go improvised. And so just look for more skill damage, okay? So, and you'll be fine with your 10% armor on kill. This is 20% armor on kill, so it allows me to go faster, take on more damage. And then I'm running the Memento, which is giving us 3% armor regen when we're on full stacks, plus 30% skill efficiency, which is skill haste and skill damage. And then we get 30% weapon damage. Those are all the long-term buffs. You have to have 30 stacks on your trophies to get that. I got skill haste, and we're definitely taking advantage of those short-term bonuses as well, which is also giving us bonus armor. So we got a total of 4% armor regen, 20% armor on kill, and really, really short cooldowns. Really short cooldowns. So sub 10 seconds on both of them all the time. All the time. Remember that you're getting 30% skill haste off of your backpack. We're running Demolitionist. Okay, that's going to give you more explosive damage to your explosive skills. It's also going to help you resist explosions at least once every 2 minutes. And then you actually need to use your grenade launcher in order to accomplish some of the challenges, as well as your grenade. So I'm using a fragment grenade because I don't think you have to kill enemies. I think you just have to damage them. Let's double check those challenges. So Hollywood event, challenges, and then let's track the challenges. So I'm going to track them. But let's see here. What does it say? Grenades. Damage shielded hostiles with thrown grenades. So yeah, you don't have to kill them, you just have to damage them. And so you can use grenades or pulses, okay? So that's what I was gonna say too, also about this build, is that when you accomplish your explosions like we did, so we accomplished them, we already got our 100 explosions in just a couple of missions, okay? So from there, you can switch one of these to an EMP. So there's also an EMP sticky, right? So you can use EMP sticky, it's got an even faster cooldown. Or you can use your EMP pulse, and that will also work. So I got my explosion, so I'm probably gonna switch to the EMP sticky to get that one taken care of as well. So that's the build. Pretty cool. Okay, so now we're gonna head into the bunker. So check out this little gameplay footage here right at the entrance. So these are invaded, guys. So super, not super tough, but pretty hard. Harder than normal, I guess you would say. So melee, boom. So yeah, squeeze those melees in there when you can. So you got good survivability, so I'm never worried about that. So I push and I push, I push. I can play out of cover, I can take damage, move from A to B, and I get myself in it gives you confidence basically. So another melee. So remember, the melees are part of the challenge, so you got to squeeze those in there. But watch this little slurry of explosives that's about to happen. Back-to-back explosives here. So they're all kind of huddled up there. So I target the ground kind of like in between where all the guys are and take out a bunch of them. And look, that puts our armor back to full because we got that 20% armor on kill. So I feel like my skills are just like constantly ready, right? Really short cooldowns. And when they're not for any reason in between skills, whip out your grenade launcher. You got unlimited grenade launcher ammo in this game, basically, with this event. So I'm taking the full breadth of that Chunga's chain gun there and survived it, thanks to our armor regen. Like if you wanted to get rid of a little bit of your skill haste, you could actually donate that to protection from elites instead. Oh, I lose batteries here for a quick second, by the way. I'm like, oh shit. In the middle of this fight, my batteries died. Sorry about that. It'll just be a couple seconds. But Azragale, Meleko, he says. Digital Dog says, yes, sticky bombs can go right across the map. Yep. Yeah, it takes a little practice. And so basically what I do is I line up my cursor and then just double tap, right? So I don't literally aim. Like that was literally aiming. What I do is just line up your cursor and then double tap, and then that's the trick. So like right there, that's what I did there. Quick fire. And so just notice those back-to-back skills, guys. We're just throwing them out there. And I forgot to show you the stats in the last one, but we doubled everybody else in kills. And we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna get over 100 kills just in this one mission. And it's gonna be twice as many as anybody else gets as well. And so that's pretty good for an explosive skill build that doesn't have much DPS. My uninvaded on top of that. Not to toot my own horn or anything. Muhammad Ali Manay, thanks for that Tux Live. Appreciate you, man. I have, John B, I have one blue on my build, and it is from the memento. So it's just that memento. So you can go 2 blues. And so I thought about that too. Like real quick, like you can go 2 blues here. If you put technician, if you decide to run technician instead, which is fine, you can get more skill damage, that's explosive damage, but you know, it's sort of the same. Then if you run technician, you're gonna get an extra skill tier. So what you can do is then add another blue core. By doing that, it's gonna make your armor on kill stronger, but also your armor regen is gonna go way up, right? So that's why you would wanna do that. If you use your pistol instead of your assault rifle, if you rely on the pistol, then you're gonna get another skill tier. So then you can roll even more armor and still have all 6 skill tiers. So those are some creative ways to play this build if you wanna go the tanky side of things. Excuse me. Now I have 6 yellows. So the memento is giving me a yellow, and then I got 5 on the build. Okay, let me give you a quick So there's 6 yellow, so 6 skill tiers here. So 3 on the left, 3 on the right. And then 1 blue and 1 red. So the memento is giving us all of that. So it's also, I use the sticky because it also helps with the running gunning. I use it basically kind of like a gunslinger would in the Wild Wild West. You know how he, whips out his pistol and then kind of whips it back out. That's kind of how the sticky bomb works when you're in motion. You just kind of whip it out real quick. And so that's why this kind of works as a nice little running gun. If your skills had a slow cooldown, a long cooldown, you'd want to stay in cover more. Yeah, this is gonna be a busy room here too, by the way. What's up, Biko? Okay, Biko, you need to run this build, bro. You do, man. Biko, this build's for you, man. Biko, yeah, I don't think you were here for the beginning, but Biko, I know you know my build, so listen. This is a mix of Rocket Man, or also known as Holy Hand Grenades build, if you remember that one from back in the day. So Rocket Man, and it's a mix of Rocket Man, Max Blind, and Slaughter. That's this build. It's all 3 of those like combined. It's a hybrid of those 3 builds. And it turned out to be absolutely amazing. And so I created it because the Hollywood event sucks, right? And I was just like, oh man, this event sucks. I usually skip it. I always skip it. And I was just like, well, I'm gonna come up with a build. I promised the community that I'd help you guys get the most out of this entire game. And what that means is not skipping events, right? But if they suck, it's also about having fun. So, so that's the thing. I gotta come up with builds to help you guys enjoy this event so that you don't skip them. But they gotta be fun, right? It's not, I can give you a tip of spear build. You know what I mean? But that's not gonna be any fun. You can, I don't know, maybe you think they're fun, but I've never been a big fan of tip of spears. So it's just, I want you guys to be able to get the most out of this game. And so that's why I come up with builds like this. Otherwise, I would just say, skip this event, it sucks. But not anymore, we're having fun. What's up, Hotel Tango? Yeah, so I'll show you the build again, because because as new people jump in, they need to see the build. But so in between rooms, I'll show. Like when we're on the long jogs, I'll give quick glimpses. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So you guys, this build is definitely way beyond the event. So the only thing that's changing in the event is, sorry, getting a little bit of allergies, so excuse me the cough. We actually got sun out here in the Pacific Northwest, which is a rare thing, but that kicks up my allergies a little bit. And also all this talking in live events. Am I talking too much? Turning up the volume so you guys can hear a little bit of that gameplay there too. But yeah, what I was gonna say is that the only difference is, like, if you're gonna play this outside of the event, okay, the only thing that would change is how often you don't have unlimited grenades, right? So this event is giving you unlimited grenades. You see them everywhere. I don't mean grenades, I mean a grenade launcher ammo, special ammo, unlimited special ammo. So it's everywhere. You see that? So like, spam your grenade launcher. You're never gonna run out of grenades on your grenade launcher. They're everywhere. Everybody that you kill is basically dropping one. So, and it says that in the description. It says that kills drop special ordnance. So this is what the build looks like at the high level. So we got 1 China, 1 Wyvern, 2 Bellstone with skill damage and skill haste. And then we got the 511 with skill damage. So we got 20% armor on kill because of these 3 pieces here. And then we also got 4% armor regen there. So, and then we're running tag team on the chest. You got screwed Digital Dogs, the Manning Zoo, man, that sucks. So Digital Dog says, Manning Zoo effed me over last night. Was well ahead of time when I got to the train, then found the boss wouldn't spawn the flamethrower guy. Oh. The boss didn't spawn? Was the train already there when you got there? Yeah, that's why I stopped. So, like, I was actually having a good time. So it's kind of the same thing as this Hollywood event, actually, believe it or not. Like, not just saying this, like, I think you guys probably aren't a fan of the Manning National Zoo. I'm not either. And I mean, I played it like a couple of weeks ago just to get the send-off shotgun because I was part of the task list. And then, but I haven't played the zoo other than that in like forever, and I don't like the zoo, right? It's just kind of a lot of running around. So, and so I wasn't really looking forward to that challenge, but you know, I wanted to get a really good solo speedrun time on it. And so I you know, spent a lot more time in there, and I actually really enjoyed it because of the speedrun aspect. It was like a nice challenge. Now, the disappointing side was the glitch that I'm sure you guys all experienced along the way, which is the biggest glitch of all was that the train doesn't auto spawns. Basically, there's a train glitch there, the monorail. So the problem with that was that if you're having a really good run, like a world record breaking run, and then you get the train glitch, it's all for nothing. You're gonna lose at least 45 seconds at that spot. So you can still beat the time that they're requiring you to have with the train glitch. You can, and I did. But if you're trying to go like world record time or personal record and gotta get your best time, then you know it sucks because there's some randomness to that. There's a chance. There's some things got to go well. So everything can be going well and perfect, and you have the best time ever. Maybe you're on track for like a 15-minute run, whatever, and then you come across the train glitch and it was all for nothing because that's going to slow you down, and all of a sudden you don't get a personal best, right? So. You know, so I stopped at 17 minutes. So I got 17 minutes. That was a good time. I was happy with it, and I was like, screw it. You know, and they were saying that you got to get 18 minutes to get top tier, right? So I beat it by a minute, and I just kind of left it. But I was, you know, I felt like I could have probably, if I perfected it, like if it was a perfect run, you could probably get 15 and a half with the build that I was running. But it was just too frustrating to keep coming across that glitch. I was like, I'm having a perfect run, it's perfect. Oh, and then there's the glitch. So it doesn't even matter. You know. So get your time in and get out, unfortunately. But there is on some skills they show John that they do status effect damage or status effects, not damage but like the explosive seeker. I think both of them show. The explosive seeker says bleed, that it applies bleed, but the other one applies bleed too, and it doesn't say it that it does. I think most explosives apply bleed, don't they? Oh, is that right, Azrael? Azrael? How am I saying that? Azrael? Am I saying that right? Azrael? Sorry, I try to learn everybody's name. Sorry if I'm butchering it. Am I butchering your name, bro? Or sis? Like, I just, yeah, you might be right. Let me look at what it says. What does it say? It says melee attack shielded hostage. That's right. You don't have to kill him. It just says melee attack. Good point. So you could just, you know, you don't have to run to Sweet Dreams. It is kind of fun to get somebody out of your way, though. So also, there's a couple of other tricks too. So throw them out there if you guys have tricks on the Hollywood event. I think the whole community would appreciate them. Just like Azrael mentioned. So you don't have to kill them with the melee. You just have to hit them with the melee to take down their shield. So that's cool to know. Also, the Scorpio disables their shield also. So it's kind of annoying. I tried it and it was just like, it wasn't that fun, just so you know. It's like not. because it's only the shock. So if you shock the enemies, it'll disable the shield. But as you guys know, the shock is what, like the 7th round or the 5th round, and so they're in a 6th round. It's a 6th round, so you got to shock them, and then you can disable their shield. Then basically you got to reload. Now you can DPS them down. You know what I mean? So it makes it feel like you're shooting marshmallows, basically. So it's not very fun to do that, but you can. If you find a creative build to use with your shotgun, I mean, like maybe, I was thinking, I mean, I didn't try it, but I was thinking like maybe the striker, like a 4-piece striker Scorpio build, because that way your RPMs go up, so you break their shield faster, basically, and then you can DPS them down. And since your amplified damage hit increases on stacks, and it has nothing to do with damage, then, you know, at least you're getting more stacks while you're doing that. So that's one way you can get creative with it. Also, the oxidizer eats through their shields as well. It doesn't eat, it damages them whether they have shields or not. And so does the pestilence plague of the outcast. It damages them whether they have shields or not. So I suspect things like fire would as well. I didn't test fire, but I suspect fire would also damage them. Nomad79, what up? Says, hey Tux, live Rocket Man build. One of my favorites. Still use it to this day. Been saved in my loadout since it was first posted. Oh, then you probably recognize this build, huh? So this is it's a combo of that. It's a Slaughter with Max Blind and Rocket Man. Yeah, and it's run and gun playstyle. Same playstyle, so run and gun. So I'm using the same 2 skills that I use in Rocket Man. And then we got our 20% armor on kill. So I don't think the Rocket Man had the 511, so we're using 511s and 2 Bellstone. Tag team, I think Rocket Man used tag team because we're minimizing the cooldowns. And then we got 1-piece China Light, so going explosive, and we got the this bad boy up here. And then the memento. So yeah, so remember, you know, enemies are also, the difficulty scaled up on the enemies when you're playing in group. So, you know, so if it works in this scenario, then it'll work solo too. And then I'm going to show you some solo gameplay right after this mission. I can be running this build all week. Actually, I think it's a ton of fun. Good point, Curtis. Yeah, totally. You can swap after shock. It's just that putting out 6 rounds on one enemy when you could just pulse the entire crowd. You know what I mean? And I tried a bunch of different builds, just so you know. Like right out of the gate, I tried a few different builds. What did I try? I did try a pestilence build. And I was like, oh, you can, but it just didn't feel like I was doing anything special because, like, the bullets weren't damaging them so much. You know, the actual bullet damage wasn't doing much. And then but then the Plague of Outcasts was working, so it was just kind of like, oh, it's, you know, it works, but just there was nothing exciting about it. And then I realized, I was like, oh, but there's that, you know, there's kind of the objective, right? Which is to break the shield, explode, use your special ammo. And so I wanted to do all that stuff, and, you know, a pestilence build just isn't really all inclusive. And then you were really squishy. I didn't like how squishy it was either. You know how pestilence builds are, right? You got to go all red, glass cannon to get the most out of it. I mean, you don't have to, of course, but good point. Yeah, definitely. You can use the Scorpio and then swap weapons. Good point. By the way, if you're just joining us, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. And also, I am streaming on Twitch now, guys. I'm streaming different content on Twitch than I am on YouTube. So it is not repeat content over there. Like, for example, last night, I hooked up with a couple of boys from from the stream, during the stream, invited a couple of people in on me to help speed run actually Federal Emergency Bunker on Heroic. And so I'm trying to get like the recommended, the times that they recommend that you accomplish for like hard level. I'm trying to get those same times in Heroic. So if they say 12 minutes on hard, then I'm trying to get 12 minutes on Heroic. So definitely accomplishable. You just kind of got to learn, the plays. You're basically making a playbook, right? Like running plays. Like you go left, I go right. You hit them with the grenade, the sticky rifle first, and then I'll shoot them in the head next, and then somebody's got to go straight for the door, whatever. So you got plays in order to get those times. And so it takes some figuring out. So it's a little painful at first because you're playing the same mission over and over and over, but I hope to deliver those plays to you guys so that you can do them. Ooh, Steve S, good reco. Steve S says, let me show that here. He says, let me refresh this.
Un homme dans une gare isolée, une valise à ses côtés.
But he's saying that, like, if you run the bulwark shield, Steve S says if you bash an NPC with the bulwark shield, each bash counts as a melee attack. So you could, like, what he's saying is, like, which is actually a really good idea, just go up to a big heavy chunga, even in the open world, right? Just find one, like an elite convoy, an elite patrol or something like that, and then just stand there and melee him behind a bulwark shield. So one of the guys is running an oxidizer. Let's talk about the oxidizer for a minute. So again, the oxidizer is a good build to run if you want to be a support player while running the Hollywood event, because again, it damages the enemies even if they're shielded up, even if they're up with their shields. The problem is that it's not going to help you so much with your challenges for the events. Every day there's going to be a challenge, right? I think there's 4 days of challenges, right? And so you got damage shielded hostiles with explosions or EMPs. So the oxidizer doesn't help that. Hit shielded hostiles with your special weapon. The oxidizer doesn't help with that. Melee attack shielded hostiles. It doesn't help with that. Eliminate Rikers. It does help with that. So that's good. So if you just want to, so once you eliminate all your challenges, daily challenges or whatever, then go switch to an oxidizer build, and as a team support player, then that'll be great. But I don't know. I just want to talk about the oxidizer for a minute. But like, what do you guys think about an oxidizer skill build? How do you feel like? How do you feel like it works out? Like, what role does it play? Do you feel like it performs better than like a ballistic skill build or an explosive skill build, like a artillery turret? Or let me ask you this question. I'm trying to figure out how I want to ask this question, but like, let me ask you this question. Like, what would you rather run, an Eclipse Protocol fire build or an oxidizer build? In a team scenario, what would be more, or even in a solo scenario? What do you think would give you faster kills and more helpful for the team? Now, one thing I gotta mention is that fire doesn't hurt tech, right? Like warhounds or tanks, fire doesn't do anything against them, where the oxidizer does. The oxidizer damages basically anything, right? But yeah, so I want your opinions on the oxidizer, because like like myself, like my opinion, and I definitely don't have to agree with me, of course, but like I just sort of like, I don't know, it just has a hard time selling on me as being an effective weapon. I see it like as a like a nice support build. Like I could see like in a combination with a turret, like artillery turret plus the oxidizer. I mean, like that would be good. Or even an assault turret with the oxidizer, that'd be good. One is like you can kill yourself easily with that thing, right? I mean, raise your hand if you've killed yourself with the oxidizer, right? Like more than the fire chem, more than anything else, I've killed myself with an oxidizer. And it's really easy because like if an ally runs in front of your chem launcher as you're shooting it, then you know it splashes back in your face, right? But I guess the biggest problem that I do have with it though is like it's the time to kill. You know, because it's like a slow tick damage thing, and the enemies aren't normally just hanging around inside the oxidizer cloud, right? They run into it, and then they run out of it, and they run into it. And so it's helping. It's basically making the enemies easier for the DPS person to kill. But, you know, if you were going to be that role, would you be better off just running an Eclipse build and catching everybody on fire? And then watching the waterfall effect, because you can't have a waterfall effect with the oxidizer, right? So I don't know. It's kind of curious on what you guys think about the oxidizer. Do you think it's a really viable skill? I mean, just think about it like in the sense of like, are you better off running the Eclipse Protocol build? Is that more useful for your team? You know, to run fire or even riot foam that doesn't do any damage unless you're running the vial. I don't know, but running it as a primary skill, I mean, I see people using it, and sometimes I'm kind of like, God, it takes forever for you to kill anybody. You know what I mean? I mean, people do die from it, but like, you know, either it took you forever to kill them, or you know, somebody else weakened them so much that they ran through your cloud and then they finally died because they were so weak. You know what I mean? And so, and it's mostly because it's not that it's not strong, it's NPC behavior, right? They run in and out of the cloud, but just a quick peek at the build real quick while we're shooting those dogs. Nothing too exciting for the moment. But again, we're running the memento, and this build, the memento helps you get out of cover. The defense on this thing really helps you get out of cover. So again, we have 20% armor on kill. And then we have 4% armor regen. 3% armor regen is coming from our 30 stacks of trophies off the backpack. The other 1% is coming from Bellstone. And then we're running 2 pieces of Bellstone for 10% armor on kill. And then the 511 is giving us another 10% armor on kill. And then our skills are always on the ready because of tag team. And then we got skill haste everywhere. So, and these skills are, they're basically, I don't know, like 10 seconds or less cooldown. But as you can see, in the gameplay footage, they're practically always available. So the reason why they become less is because when you have your backpack is fully stacked, you have 30% skill efficiency coming off of it. So between tag team and their skill efficiency, you know, the skill, like the EMP sticky starts at 18 seconds cooldown, but by the time those things kick in, we're way faster. And then you got to squeeze shots in there, so you got to use your gun, you know, on top of that. So, you know, that's as far as like the cycle of going. Like, I actually don't think I'd want my skills to be any faster. If I did, I feel like I would have too much skill haste on the build, and I'd maybe want to re-roll that into something different. More skill damage or more armor regen or something like that, because the skill haste is just right. You know, it's not, the cooldown's not too short, not too long. It's just right, because you got to remember you're using tag team. You got 2 skills, and it takes time to aim them. I mean, they're fractions of a second here, fraction of a second there, but it's why the cooldowns are just right. See how it kind of feels like we're constantly throwing them out there? Especially when a good test, oh, we're about to glitch, our skills are about to glitch out here. That sucks. I hate when it does that. You see that? It just glitched out, so boo. Actually, and it stays glitched out for the entirety of this, the rest of this mission. I don't get why it does that, but it only happened to me once while running this build, but you know, where you're about to toss it out and it blinks funny like that, and then I think you can fix it like if you switch builds. Like if you switch builds, the problem is that we were constantly in combat, and then my skills were also always on cooldown. They cool down in between, so it just wasn't a lot of time to switch. But Imperial Dynasty holster with Eclipse. Yeah, that's fun. Roaming Ghost. Alex Salgado, ¿qué onda, bro? ¿Cómo andas? Todo bien. So we got double Chungas here. Again, this isn't baited. That's why you're seeing Chungas. Magri says, I have an Oxy build. I only use it for the Iron Horse first boss and nowhere else. Lord Clancy, I like your Hollywood build. Lord Clancy is using the 4-piece Eclipse with 1 China in the vial, clearing checkpoints with the jammer pulls. That is funny to watch them drop like that. That's right, guys. You can play these. By the way, that reminds me, you can play these events on any difficulty level. So if you just want to clear those challenges quickly, then drop down the challenge in the hard if that's how you want to roll. If you just want to check off the boxes, So I'm hoping to get good gear along the way. So I'd stick it to heroic, but that might be wishful thinking. JD Reese, let's go Bandidos. Undertaker says, use the exotic mask to spread the named skeletons on the enemies and slowly kill them over time without shooting. I think you're saying the bio mask, right? The named skeletons. The vial mask, the toxic delivery. Or are you saying for tag team? Is that what you mean, Undertaker? Are you saying to use the vial to activate tag team? We gotta take out that whole squad. You see that with that one sticky? The whole door went down. And that's because our memento stacks are full, so our damage is higher now. But one of my skills is down, so keep in mind. So one of the skills is glitched out here, so that sucks. Otherwise, doesn't hold us back though. Still get it done. That is one takey boss right there, though, by the way. I mean, he's taking all sorts of heat. So, did you guys get all of your challenges before the reset done? I mean, all your speed runs done and your skill kills and your hostiles burned. Did you get those all done before the week reset? If not, I also have a skill kill build that I put out last week that you could check out. I'm planning on doing a build summary video for you on it as well. That's the one that helps you burn and kill with your skills. So it uses a fire cannon and an assault turret together. Which is I'd never done that before, and it was actually a lot of fun. Because the fire cam gets them out of cover, which is really nice. So for enemies that like to hide behind cover, the fire cam will get them to roll out, and then your turret's so strong that your turret will kill them as they're rolling out, or they'll burn to death because it's so powerful. The burn hurts them like big time. It's different. So like there's two types of damages from your chem launcher, right? So, and I'm not sure people pay attention to the first part of the damage a lot, because most people just kind of roll into status effects and don't roll into skill damage for your chem launcher, which means that you're dedicating your build more towards the damage over time instead of that instant burst damage. But your fire chem also does instant burst damage too, right? And so if you look at your damage numbers, there's damage and then there's burn damage. And that burn damage happens over time. So, you know, which is good too, especially for an Eclipse build. But if you're not running an Eclipse build and you're not running a CC status effect build, your objective is just to kill them quickly, right? And so that's where the first number is one that you want to spec into, which is just the damage on the deal. Okay, so check out. I'm waiting for these stats here because I want you guys to see the stats. Which chess piece, Undertaker? I'm not sure I know which chess piece you mean. You say named chess piece, but I'm not sure which one. So look at that. So let me hide my mask there, but look at that. Look at those kills. You know, and it's not a bragging thing, but so I'm the death cap, so I'm the second one from the left. It's not about bragging, but everybody was running pretty good builds. So the oxidizer guy got 56 kills, so he was the oxidizer guy. And I'm not sure what Glitch was running or Kamara were running. I'm not sure what they were running. But so I'm Death Cab. I'm the second one from the left. So at 104 kills. So we got twice as many as anybody else, basically, running that explosive build. And so I think that's pretty impressive for the type of build it is. You know what I mean? For an explosive run and gun build. So because I think some people make the assumption, well, if your skills are at the ready that often, then they must be weak. But they're not, you know. But look at that. But look at Captain Spanky's damage. I want you to pay attention to that right now. So he was running a top tier oxidizer build, and I don't think he ever ran out of chems. You know what I mean? His chems were always up. Top tier oxidizer build. And so, but look at the damage that he put out, which was a lot. I mean, he's tied for second. Like if you look at him and and Glitch, so the Captain and Glitch, they're both tied for second on basically kills and damage. They almost exact, right? And so, but what I'm saying is that the chems don't deal, the oxidizer chem doesn't deal as much damage as you think, and it's not because it's not strong, it's because the enemies are always moving in and out of the cloud. So it's not like this constant stream of damage, right? Where the damage that we're putting on with an explosive build, so which is like we almost doubled their damage, we definitely doubled their kills, is a burst damage, right? It's a big burst damage. Now there's a little bit of damage over time because you do lay on some status effects. You do put on a little bit of bleed damage, so that can add up to your favors too, also. But it's not gonna, it doesn't do a lot of killing, you know. Those status effects, so. But so anyway, so these are again the challenges that you want to try to accomplish. So you got to try to throw your grenades, or you can just switch to an EMP. So that's what I'm going to do for that first one. I'm just going to switch one of my skills for the EMP, and then you can hit shields with and then the specialization weapon. So we're doing pretty decent. We got 30 out of 100 there, and sometimes I just forget to use it, but I'm definitely going to put more effort into that. And then the explosives ones, I mean, it took nothing to get the explosives skills one. So that's good. Obviously, just that one mission alone, I killed 104 guys, right? In just that one emergency bunker mission. And I don't do. I was only using my gun to basically proc in sync as well as tag team. So all of that was coming from the explosives. Probably 90% of it. So melee attacks, got a few in there with my sweet dreams, but it just says somebody shined light on it. You don't have to kill him. Hex, how's it going, man? Glad you caught another one. Yeah, good to have you back. So I'm gonna, the Rikers, I might skip the Rikers one because that would require me to go to New York or the Summit, and I'm just not sure I'm gonna make it to either of those. But is that just me? Or is anybody else not like going to New York? But you can also encounter Rikers in the Summit, but it's kind of a crapshoot on whether you're gonna get them. Depends on the floor. Built by Bama, Eclipse, Bile, Golem, Creeping Death Bag. Cool, yeah, that's fun. Are you using the pulse too? Warrior Cowboy! I'm glad to catch it a little bit though. So, okay, so here I'm going to do a little bit of solo. But remember, everything just reset because I traveled out to a control point. So I got no memento stacks or anything like that. So we're starting fresh. So you got to build up those memento tracks. Tracks. Mementos does not lay any tracks for you. It gives you little trophies and you got to stack them. And also remember your... so watch, I'm going to try to melee these guys, but I get myself into trouble here because I was like, oh shit. And so you also got to remember that you don't have... it doesn't work on the elites, right? The melee only works on non-elites, so... And there's not that many in... when you're playing in heroic control points, right? There's actually a lot of... elites, not non-elites. So, the Sweet Dreams isn't super handy when you're playing solo elite control points. There's not that many non-elites, unfortunately. Yeah, no, that's a good one, Hex. He's saying like actually an unlimited seeker build is really cool too. So there's some other great builds that you can run. Especially because there's a big emphasis on seekers here, right? It's a really fun skill to use, and some people don't use them that much, so it gives you a chance to use the seekers. So like the hardwire seeker build would be a great way to go. You could use like a stinger hive with the hardwire set. Also, you can get pretty creative with what's the one that I'm thinking of? The tip of spear. You can try running that as a skill build. Actually, going skill tiers on the tip of spear could be interesting. I might do that for you guys. I think I have the pieces to do that. Try to make something out of tip of spear because I avoid tip of spear a lot. So I missed my shot there though. That sucks. But watch, I think I'm gonna blow myself up here. No, I get. That's right. I try to shoot with the fucking Sweet Dreams. Do not try to shoot with the Sweet Dreams. It's a horrible gun to actually use to shoot. Does anybody use it as like a gun and not just a bop stick? Because shooting that thing is absolutely horrible. Yeah, unlimited seeker builds probably, if you have that, this is a good event to break it out. What's another one that you could use? You could also, you could be, if you're running in a team and you want a team support one, you can do double pulse build. So like a jammer pulse and an EMP pulse, so you could do that. I actually like the jammer pulse because it allows you to pick your target, right? Who might be farther away than what your jammer can do. And also the jammer has a kind of like that charging up time. Yeah, a lot of skill builds. And so it's the coordination thing that's hard, you know, because somebody was saying like, oh, well, why don't you just make like an EMP build or whatever? And be like, well, you can. It's just that it does require some coordination to run an all EMP build, which is why it's not the one that I released today, because the EMP build's like, so if you join on a group, let's say you random matchmaking the summit or whatever, right? Then like everybody's going to have some sort of element within their build that breaks the shield. And so if your build is solely based around breaking a shield, then their builds are making you a little bit less effective, right? As a teammate. And so that's what's going to happen. But if you have the ability to coordinate with your team and say, hey, I'll do all the shield breaking, and so you guys can use whatever build that you want, you know, if you have the ability to communicate that, then the EMP builds make a lot of sense. But yeah, so I figure if you guys matchmake out there, everybody's going to have some sort of element of shield breaking built into their build. Have you played that, Magri? Have you used that build? So Magri says tip a spear with firewall, flamethrower all day. I actually just used that build like a couple of weeks ago. What was I using with it? Was I using a sticky? No, I was using a fire chem. Actually, I was using a fire chem, and then I tried it with the Imperial Dynasty holster. I tried it with that, and then I tried it with the biomask. I tried it with a couple of different things also. The flamethrower from Firewall is actually the strongest fire in the game, actually. So it's worth doing that, using that. But there was something that I like about, I think it was the clunkiness of like swapping to your special weapon that often. And then also the range. Like I feel like I was cooking enemies with it and they weren't taking any damage like at all. I was like, am I out of range? Or like he's standing right in front of me, you know? I don't know if it was a gear set glitch or whatever, but I don't know. I have a hard time with the tip of spear. I keep trying though. It's not that I don't try. I keep trying. Getting it to work is another thing. There you go, Memphis. That's the build. Mad Bomber chest. Yep. I might have to break out the Mad Bomber build for this too. My head went that direction too. Does the fire break their shields, or are you just using it just to distract them? The crowd control. I think they take damage from fire anyways, don't they? Ooh, missed that shot. Sucks when you miss your shots. Especially when you're out of cover. If you're playing out of cover like I am and then you miss your shot. Sucks. Oh, it's a minute for spawn camping. Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, just stand up. I actually used the flamethrower with the Eclipse build to speed run the zoo. Really liked it. I was using it a lot. It was actually the first time, believe it or not, it was the first time I integrated the special weapon in my gameplay, like, seriously. The speedrunning National Zoo requires you to integrate the flamethrower for certain checkpoints. And boy, it's strong. I mean, run the flamethrower with an Eclipse build and bring it into your build as a regular routine thing. It's strong. Instead of everybody like slowly dying, so what ends up happening is you kill the target like really fast, you catch him on fire, he dies. The fire spreads to the other people, they instantly die. They don't sit there and go, ah, I'm on fire, 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 now I'm dead. No, it's just like, I'm on fire, I'm dead. It's like instant, it's instant. Damage to armor built to, you ran with the damage to armor with the flamethrower? Yeah, I bet it's lethal with the riot foam. I mean, there's nothing. Yeah, actually, I like that with the Mad Bomber build too. I think that was like one of the old school status effect builds, right? Back in the day. Even for legendary, you would basically riot foam them and then you'd cook them with the fire grenade. I mean, like, and it's really popular even today because most people run survivalist with their Eclipse protocol builds, because by doing that, you're giving your whole team 10% damage to status affected targets, right? So, because you're running Eclipse with the survivalist, that means you got access to the fire grenades. And so you can run the riot foam, but still burn people to death, basically. So you riot foam them, burn them, and then also give them some toxic delivery. Hey, roaming host, have you figured out the flame turret? Because I haven't. You're talking about the turret? The turret, you drop down the turret, flame turret? Because I was talking about the flamethrower, the one that comes with firewall. But, like, to be honest with you, I've only used like the flame turret like twice. And the reason why I haven't used it again is because I didn't have a good experience with it. Like, I set it out in front of the door. Like, I was using I think an Iron Horse. I was guarding the door and I threw it out in front of the door. And it was like pointed like not at the door. I was like, but I threw it right in front of the door. And so I was just like, why are you pointing that way? I don't understand how I'm supposed to aim you. And then I threw it out again, and I'm trying to aim it, and it was just like I couldn't quite get it, you know? I don't know. What am I missing with the flame turret? Ooh, new PlayStation headset, huh? Right on. I've been thinking about getting an Elite controller, guys. I've been surveying the crowd to see what you guys think, and a lot of people mentioned the Scrub, one called Scrub. I still have to look it up because I'm not familiar with that brand, but I think if I decide to get it, I'll do a review on it and let you guys know. But you know, I was playing with the guy from my clan, you know, a month or two ago, and he was using one, and I was impressed by his accuracy. Because I have pretty good accuracy. I mean, you know, I'm not like breaking records, but I'm usually on the higher end. And I was running like a high accuracy build on top of that. I think it was like a rail splitter build. And he ended up outperforming me in the accuracy by like 2 or 3%, which in accuracy stats, that's pretty impressive. 2 or 3% over somebody else is impressive. That's a lot. And so he was like at like 57%, and I was at like 54%, and he was using it and I was like, what are you doing? I was like, why is your stats so amazing? I was like, I'm running this a rail splitter, which gives you 50% more accuracy. And he was like, oh, it's my gameplay settings. I was like, well, what are your settings? Those are pretty good. And he was like, and it ended up not being the settings. He was on default settings. So I was like, okay, so it's not your settings. He was like, oh, well, I am using an Elite controller. I was like, well, shit, there you go. You know what I mean? That's got to be counting for at least half of your accuracy awesomeness, right? So Scuff, that's right. Appeal on the banana, that's right. Scuff. So like I Not sure if there's so it's the price. So I'm hoping like I hope there's one. I don't know how much the scuff costs, but I'm hoping there's one that's like, because I wonder about the not big name brand ones. You know, like wondering. You know, there's some that I see on the market for like $60 or $70. You know, and they're probably just like anything. You probably pay for what you get, and they're gonna break in 30 days. You know, with some weird drifting issue, right? I'm sure that's gonna be the experience, but. So I don't know, but it's just hard to bite off a $300 controller, right? Like, but what I really want it for is like, I'm not happy with some of the components in the, like the mechanics in the game. Like if you're on an Xbox or a PlayStation, for example, like you have to double tap to get to your pistol. And then you can accidentally over tap to go back. So if you want to tap to go back to your primary weapon, if you tap twice, it'll go to the other weapon. And if you know, sometimes that can be the difference between life or death. Switching to the wrong weapon can get you killed in certain scenarios. But like the best gameplay, like if you really want to speed run or if you really want to move fast and run and gun really well, like you actually want to cycle through all three weapons, right? And so that's kind of where. You know, where you can take an elite controller. What I'm hoping to do is program the buttons so that I can hit a certain thing. Maybe it's one of those programmable things, and it takes me directly to my pistol, and then, you know, whatever from there. So without having to double tap and then accidentally bypassing the pistol and coming full circle back to my primary weapon. It feels real clunky, but you know, you want a John Wick out there, right? And cycle through your weapons without reloading, basically. So use your assault rifle, then you tap the reload as you cycle to the next weapon. You use your shotgun, and once it's empty, you tap the reload button as you cycle to your pistol, and then you, so the reloads are happening, like in the background, basically. And so then when you exhaust your pistol, you tap the reload, and then you swap back to your primary weapon, which would be my assault rifle here in this build. And then by the time you got back your assault rifle, it would be the mag would be full because it reloaded during the cycle. And so all you have to do is hit your button. It's timing. You hit your button right as you switch weapons. You guys probably all know that, right? It's not a secret. The problem is that you can double, like, you know, you might be in a fight and there's a lot going on, and you can accidentally double or triple or only single tap a button, and you're not going to cycle incorrectly. And if that keeps happening to you, like, even if it only happens like maybe like 2 out of 10 times, that's enough to make it be like, oh, I lost all my efficiency, right? Because my reloads were only 2 seconds. So like anything that happened in efficiency, I lost with the fuck up and where I had to unfuck up myself, right? So I don't know if you know what I'm saying. So that's why when it comes to switching weapons, I think it needs to be precise, right? Yeah, $80. I mean, I'll pay $80 for a controller, $60 as well, $60, $80, but $300. I don't know. Junior Thompson. The Battle Beaver. He says, right on. The Battle Beaver, huh? I gotta check that one out. Fully customizable. What console are you playing, Junior? Are you on Xbox? I mean, are you on a console or PC? Is it available for both platforms? I'll check out that brand. I appreciate you giving me the tip on that. And thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you supporting me in the channel. Notion of Death says Scuff has a little bit of... I mean, all the controllers. I'm just waiting for my Xbox controller to get some drift in it now. You know what I mean? Like, it's a matter of time. Colin Bishop, thank you for that. Yeah, we did. Somebody did tip us in on that, but it's a good tip if you're just not jumping in. By the way, hit the like and subscribe if you haven't done that. Appreciate you. That's a great way to support me. Really easy. But Colin mentions that, yeah, if you melee on the melee challenge, you don't have to kill them with the melee. So I am running the Sweet Dream. So if you hit a non-elite, it will kill them with the melee. But the kill's not required. You can just hit somebody. But what his point is that you can just walk up to like a big, sturdy elite, right? Put on a shield and just melee them with your shield over and over and over and over until you get that stat finish. I might just do that because that sounds way easier than spending all week trying to get my melee kills. Although I do like using my sweet dreams. I do not mind using my sweet dreams. It can get you killed sometimes when you get rambunctious and get out there and start, I'm gonna run and I'm gonna melee you, running into the crowd with my sweet dreams, you know. But oh, you are on Xbox, huh? Okay, cool. Right on, Junior. Right on. Battle Beaver, funny name for a controller though, by the way. Battle Beaver. Fully customizable is pretty fucking nice. I gotta check that thing out. Fully customizable would be nice. Like if you can get in your special weapon and then on that too, you know what I mean? Ooh, Junior Thompson's pulling out the medical card. Getting discounts, nice. Good for you. James Eaton, if you're not using your Elite controller, send it to me. God damn it. What a waste, James. What a waste.
That's alright.
Oh, so apple, appealing to banana, you know Battle Beaver too then, huh? Okay. Yeah, Scuff lasted for 6 to 9 months. I feel like that's the life cycle of any controller though, right? I mean, what do you guys think? I don't know. I mean, I do have the new Xbox controller, so I'm hoping it's got more reliability than in the past. But we'll see. Time to tell. I think I've only had mine for maybe 3 or 4 months now. So, time will tell. Okay, let me show those who have just recently joined what this build is all about. So here's a high level of the build. Now, it's basically, if you're familiar with my builds, it's a combination of a Max Blind, Rocket Man, Holy Hand Grenades, and Slaughter. So, which means is you're gonna have a lot of survivability and a lot of power and great skill efficiency. So minimum cooldowns is what that means. So the objective of this build is to let you run and gun and go really fast paced. In order to do that, you have to have a minimum skill cooldown, so really low skill cooldowns. Okay, so that's what we've accomplished here. So the memento is a big part of that because when you get 30 trophies stacked, it's going to give you 30% skill efficiency. So if you're wondering why I didn't run to waveform, that's why. Skill efficiency is way more important than 30% skill damage from the waveform. You get 30% skill efficiency, which also includes skill damage, but as well as skill haste, skill duration, repair skills, status effects, anything else that comes out of that. So anything that's skill related is basically in skill efficiency. So yeah, way more valuable, those trophies. You do have to build them up, of course. But we're also taking advantage of the short terms and the long terms. And this is also giving us 3% armor regen. And since we're running 2 pieces of Bellstone, we're also getting an additional 1% armor regen. So we got 4% armor regen on this, which isn't that bad on 913,000 armor. And then we got 20% armor on kill. First 10% is coming from our death grips. And I rolled these yellow. These are Dark Zone exclusive, but you can get them just by playing the Hollywood event and farming for those red stars, so you can purchase named item caches and hope RNGesus blesses you with a pair of 511s. And then my knee pads, again, are Bellstone. The first one's giving me armor regen. I skilled it all out. These are actually not that hard to come by. You've probably gotten a ton and probably threw them away because you thought they were no good. And then my second Bellstone is my holster, which is giving me that additional 10% armor on kill for a total of 20% armor on kill. We're getting a lot of kills because we have some serious explosive power. And as you saw from the gameplay, we're doubling the team in kills. Doubling the nearest player, that is. So in the Federal Bunker, we got 100 kills where the nearest player had 50 kills. So this thing does the job. And part of that is because our skills are always available. So we got 17-second cooldown on the explosive, and it's tier 6. And then we got a 18-second base cooldown on the explosive seeker mine. Okay, so remember, we're gonna get 30% more skill haste out of our backpack, as well as more skill damage out of our backpack. And then we're running tag team on the chest, and this is a wyvern chest with skill haste, skill damage, and more skill haste. And tag team is gonna shave 6 seconds off of our build, our cooldown. So super handy to have this chest piece. With tag team, you basically want it. You can also kinetic momentum. That'd be my alternate. If for some reason you had more skill haste or enough skill haste, then go kinetic momentum for more damage without having to go glass cannon. And then our mask is our second, or our first piece really, of China Light. And it's giving us explosive damage, and we got skill haste, skill damage, skill haste. So you could also run a second piece of China for your chest or Hannah U to give you more skill haste. So if you did that, if you had more skill haste, you could try that and say, now I have enough skill haste where maybe I don't need tag team. You know, and you're not really going to know until you get your memento stacks all the way up. So you have to try it and feel it out. So that would be your circumstance. And if that isn't enough, then run 1 Hannah and 1 China. I mean, 2 China and 1 Hannah, because 2 China is going to give you more skill haste. So that's another way to get your skill haste up. And if you do that, then you might be able to go to kinetic momentum also. So those are some ways to avoid tag team. But for me, it's about having your skills always available. So I'm a big fan of tag team. Okay. And then if we're using the test subject to get perfect in sync. You can try the capacitor. That would also work. But I wanted that explosive damage. And I wanted basically an explosive damage, a burst of additional damage, and that's what In Sync does, and so you don't have to stack it up. And then we were running the Sweet Dreams to melee kill, and then a Demolitionist to give us more explosive damage, but you also have to use your special weapon for this event, and so this is a pretty good one to use. It's a lot of fun, easy to use too, easy to hit your targets with this. So yeah, that's the build, guys. So that's all I have for you today. So I hope you pulled out some good tips for this, and I hope that by running this build, you really actually enjoy the Hollywood event. I know it's a very tough one to enjoy if you're not running a kind of build that helps you make the most out of it. So with this one, you're not only going to be effective, you're going to lead your team in kills, but you're also going to have fun so that you can farm this event all week and get all of those red stars so that you can buy all of those named item caches or legacy caches so you can get some of the best gear in the game. That's the point of this build. You don't want to bypass an event because they're not fun. If you have the right build, it's possible to make the build fun. So if you haven't hit the like and if you haven't subscribed, I invite you to do that now. Otherwise, I will see you probably tomorrow. Ciao.
Tuxedo out.
Raw flows, and that's how we go.